Hello everyone, and welcome to my yearly Halloween display walkthrough. Before we get started, just a couple quick things. It's actually after Halloween, it's November 3rd, and I haven't had a chance to do this yet because it's been raining, so everything's a little bit wet. Just ignore that. And the second thing is, this is actually the first year I've ever done this, but I started a daily vlog series following the process of putting this all together. So if at any time you want to see like certain bits and pieces, I'll put links to like those sections of the daily vlogs. But for those of you who have not watched any of the daily vlogs, I still wanted to do my traditional yearly walkthrough. Now, as far as the yard goes, not too much change this year. We put a lot of our time and effort into our garage hunt this year because we upscaled that like crazy. But that's a whole separate thing. You'll see that in a separate video. But anyway, let's start over here from this corner. We have, as always, our werewolf chained to the tree. And he is always a crowd favorite. We always have tons of people coming up here wanting to take pictures with him. And actually, this might be the last year for him. I'm thinking that we're gonna have to upgrade him next year because he's starting to fall apart. His head actually broke off and it's kind of just tied on there with a piece of string right now. So this may be his last year. We may have to rebuild him, so, but I don't know, we will see. And then we also have our hangman up in the tree, which we always have. Not too much of a difference there. So next we will venture over to the cemetery, which is a little bit different. We made a couple of upgrades. Let's see. As always, we got our entrance with the cemetery gates and the columns and our gargoyles. And we actually had a problem this year with one of the neighborhood cats. They kept coming here, and you can kind of see it, scratching up the columns like crazy. And we had to just like repaint these. But you can see like they dug into this so deep. And actually, even since we repainted it, they've started getting it again, which is fairly annoying. But I guess there's not too much we can do. So yeah, we got our cemetery entrance with our gargoyles, and they actually stopped working. Their eyes used to light up, but they don't anymore, which is sad. So if you take a look inside the cemetery, you'll see that the rain has actually done a number on some things. A couple of the tombstones broke. That cross is broken in half, and it kind of knocked over a couple of the other ones. But that's okay, because one of the big projects for next year is going to be remaking all these tombstones and getting away from these cheap store-bought ones. Earlier this year, I built my first tombstone ever, which is that Count Orlok one. I made a separate video about that one as well. And that is by far the best tombstone in the whole cemetery. So we're gonna definitely transition to custom-made ones rather than these store-bought ones. Let's see, we still got our walking zombies. Not too much of a difference there. If we venture through the lake in our front yard to the back of the cemetery, you can see the flying crane ghost, which is actually new this year. We previously used a homemade flying crane ghost with the whole like wire hangers and foam head, and she worked well for the 3 or 4 years that we had her, but she got to the point where she was all rusted and she was falling apart. So I actually found this ghost in Spirit Halloween that works amazingly. I mean, she's a little bit heavy for the motor. We had some issues with the string popping several times, and we had to modify how it was done a little bit by adding pulleys, because the string through the eye holes by itself was just, it's putting too much strain on it, and they kept popping. So, but other than that, she worked really well. It's the only thing about her, she is so heavy that even when the motor is all the way back like that, she actually weighs it down and pulls it down Doesn't like she's doing it right now though. She definitely did get dirty though. This rain's done a number on us. If you hadn't watched my daily vlogs, we had an issue at the beginning of this month where everything, like the whole entire state was underwater pretty much, and that was a disaster, and it's been a bit of a tough year. But anyway, let's get back to this. It's the front porch. We decked out a little bit, not too much, just put some spider web on the wall. That's one of those flickering lights from Home Depot. Just had that hanging from the ceiling and it flickered on and off during the night, which looked very cool. And then we just got our little pumpkins and skull heads and stuff. Nothing too crazy. And then as always, we got our giant spider web through the bushes. And the rain has kind of torn these down a little bit, so they definitely don't look as good as they did. We got our skeleton who's all wrapped up, hanging upside down. Just like we do every year. We got our skeleton flamingos, which I've had them for years now. I keep them out just for, like, I don't know, nostalgia, I guess. Come over here. This was a new project for the year. I made a countdown sign, and I could never remember to change it. I think this sign said, the sign went like 2 weeks saying 20 days till Halloween or something. I kept forgetting to change it over and over and over. And now that it's past Halloween, I had written 365 on it, and the rain has kind of wiped that off. So that's fine. This is coming down soon anyway. But that was kind of cool. This was just made by, obviously, a couple of pieces of wood. I made a video about putting that together as well. And then we have what is still my favorite prop that I've ever made. My corpse scarecrow. I love him so much. The only issue that we have with him is that he's always so far back that a lot of people don't actually see him, but I don't trust putting him right next to the road because, I don't know, you know how people can be. So it's a little bit unfortunate that he doesn't get to be front and center all the time, but that is okay. And then down here I just put a couple of pumpkins just to kind of set the scene a little bit. I have some big plans for this area next year. Gonna include the scarecrow, the countdown sign, and a ton more pumpkins. It's gonna be pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it this year. Like I said, we didn't really do too much as far as the yard goes. We put all of our effort into the garage, which, again, that's a separate video. I'll put a link to that if you want to check that out. But yeah, there you go. As I said, I daily vlogged for the last several months putting all this stuff together. So if you want to go back through and check out at any point of putting this stuff together, feel free to do that. I have everything organized on my channel by month and in different playlists and everything. And I'm going to continue daily vlogging to continue showing how everything grows. So, things and stuff and awesome. Yeah, thank you for watching. And be sure to check out the nighttime version of this video, as well as the full garage haunt video that I was talking about. And I will see you guys next year.